As the cinema is evolving, the mindset of the audience is evolving with it too. Gone are the days when movies were just meant to be pure entertainers and were supposed to be watched just like a movie and not a mirror to the real world. Now audience want substance, convoluted plots, or something that represents the real society or the reflection of their own. Or else they need a franchise with interconnected universe like MCU. But amongst all this, we lost the viewership of movies which used to be pure crazy entertainments and can actually cater to the mass audience, especially talking about Hollywood. That touch is somewhere lost. Now I'm saying this because yesterday I stepped into the theaters to watch this crazy Brad Pitt starrer action comedy film Bullet Train, and this movie in all ways served my craving for a stellar action movie experience which I missed in Hollywood. The movie revolves around 7 assassins assigned with different missions, but coincidentally they all end up in the same bullet train. Now how their paths cross with one another and how they fight their way to their survival forms the basic storyline of Bullet Train. So here's me talking about the movie so you all can jump to the conclusion. Well, you know what, if you are a fan of classic action Hollywood movies, this is something you don't want to miss at all. Strong points of the movie: cinematography and action set pieces. While watching the movie, my friend Abhinandan pointed out that how the cinematography of this movie reminded him of Lokesh Kanagaraj's films, and after that, I couldn't help but notice the similarity of camera work, character introductions, and various other stuff. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but it felt fresh, because stylized camera work is something rare in Hollywood movies, as they prefer more linear and realistic approach to cinematography. Bullet Train really engages you with the way the camera work has been done, especially in scenes where the characters are being introduced or something from the past is being talked about. My favorite part was when Lemon and Tangerine were talking about the White Death and how you get the introduction of the character with such stylized and poetic visualization, which was something to marvel at. The action in this movie felt like how it should have. While the camera work was stylized, the action was as raw and gritty as it could be. You won't see the characters taking their turns for hitting each other or monologuing. The fight actually makes you as an audience glued to your seats because you actually cannot predict who is having the upper hand in the fight. Characters and humor. As I mentioned above that how the movie will remind you of Lokesh Kanagaraj's movies, same can be said for the characters also. Every character is given a separate and badass introduction before they enter the premise of the movie. Each character is distinct from one another and each one of them has something to offer to the story and screenplay. Plus, they are all unpredictable, which inherently increases the engagement of the movie itself. David Lietch, who directed Deadpool 2, is the director of Bullet Train, and you can see his trademark written all over the movie when it comes to humor and visualization. A special mention to Brad Pitt. The guy is 58 years old and hasn't lost a bit of his acting ability or his charm or his screen presence, and definitely his charisma beats his age. Talking about humor, Lemon and Tangerine, played by Brian Tyree Henry and Aaron Taylor Johnson respectively, adds the much required comic relief that this movie needs and completely justifies the genre that is action comedy. And the transition of comedy from light-hearted to dark in spans of seconds is something this movie achieves flawlessly and will definitely be a laughter riot if you watch it with your friends. Soundtrack. The soundtrack of this movie is one of the best I've heard in recent times. The original soundtrack of this movie, accompanied by some known hits, makes it one of the banger soundtrack collection for a movie, be it specific BGM for each characters, songs, or the BGMs during fight sequences. Every single soundtrack was amazing and was already in my Spotify playlist the moment I walked out of the theater. Weak points of the movie. Pacing changes in the second half. I want to make one thing clear, that this weak point in no way will tamper with your movie experience, nor it downweights the movie anyhow. I am including this because that's the blueprint of my video to include both points. And this is something I personally felt, but it might not resonate with you. But the pacing of the movie, which was set up before the interval, felt a little bit slowing down after the first half. However, it also had its own benefits, but I cannot reveal that as it will spoil the movie. The verdict. Bullet Train felt like watching the Hollywood version of Kaithi, with a big ass bullet train instead of a lorry and highway, and less serious. Adrenaline pumped action sequences accompanied by a good setting, which can be expanded if the makers decide to. The urban legend antagonist, presence of henchmen which serves as obstacles at every checkpoints in the movie, just like in a video game where it all happens before you meet the final boss, gory action sequences, and a simple but interconnected storyline which gets better as it unfolds. Bullet Train is a complete package which fulfills all the requirements of an entertaining Hollywood action flick and will keep you hooked from start to end. And this is one of those movies which you must experience in a theater only. So that's it for today's video, guys. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about this, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram @artstar and support our channel by hitting the like button and subscribing. We'll see you guys in the next video.